Something a little different today. This is my mother's Dell XPS p71g. She has managed to break both USB-C ports. So we're going to use our vast USB-C experience and change out our ports. I've already disassembled the laptop, so we'll just get prepped and go from there. For your orientation purposes, when we're working on this side of the board, we will be working here. And when we flip it over, we will be working here. We're going to start with what I believe is the primary charge port. In order to begin, I must turn on my equipment. And while I turn on my equipment, let me throw up my expected temperatures for this job. These temperatures are brought to you by the associate links in the description. If you go to my video description and click on one of these links and buy any of this equipment, a small portion of that purchase will go to supporting the channel. Won't cost you an extra dime, and I greatly appreciate it. As per our normal routine, I'm going to low melt the anchors. So that's how we will begin. Add some flux. Grab our low melt. Add a generous amount. I do have one concern over here. That is this plastic connector. I think we will throw a shield over it. And maybe a couple of concerns. Shield that one. I'll try to work fast. That looks like a clean pull, but I did not realize there was through hole. That is not great news. Why do I say that's not great news? Cleaning out these holes is never fun. It's never a good time. Adding low melt to the holes. For the not fun part, only one or two that we've missed there. So we can get a better loop and add some more flux. Looks like about 3 of them. That one and those 2. More low melt. I think we got one of those. So we're down to 2. I need a little more precision. I'm probably going to switch irons to my micro pencil. Well, that did not go well. Or that, flip the board over, see if we can get them to clear from the other side. Did not want that to go into the other hole. Good grief. Always got to be some stubborn. Okay, we got that one. I think we've done this one very well. We'll wick it again, smooth those out. Hopefully we can get the last remnants of that. Alright, we should be able to get that port on there now. So, what did I do? Sometimes those holes are very stubborn, so you can sometimes force the issue by poking something. So I'm using this straight pin, and I'm just pushing the solder through. Same concept as that, like the little round pushers you can use for through hole, but they don't make any that are this small, so I just had to come up with a different plan. Now, when you're using the brute force method, I don't mean use brute force. Don't try to force it through. Wet that solder and just push. It's brute force compared to any other method. So I think this one will be interesting to solder. Let me take a look at it. See if I want to tin those pads or if I just want to solder them straight. Let's look at our board here. Don't recall there being a lot of space for soldering. So what do I mean by space? I mean runway on the pads. Usually to hand solder them, you need some runway for the heat to run up. Not always, but it's helpful. There is a little bit of runway there. That might be hand solderable. I'm going to angle my scope here so I can see. There's some flux down there. We'll grab our Pico pencil. So when I say hand solderable, I mean hand solderable for the ridiculously good equipment that I am blessed to have. I do not pretend that this is hand solderable for all equipment. No, I'm thinking actually pre-tinning these pads is going to be a better idea. It's going to give us a little more to work with. There is enough runway to hand solder it, but no reason to make it hard on ourselves. Oh yeah, much better. Very good, very good. Let's go ahead and get the anchors. For that, we're switching to the big iron. I got the little pins started with the big iron. I'm probably going to finish them with the smaller one, just to go over it some. But let's clean it off first, getting a little cruddy in there. Switching to the micro pencil. Flux would help. Flux would be an assistance. Right now I don't care about bridging. What I care about is having enough solder in all these holes. I'll clear the bridges later. Make sure we got all of them cleared. No more bridges. Excellent. Now, I don't know who came up with this design to have through hole and surface mount on the port. We don't like you. I can make some nice joints every once in a while. Alright, our next one is not through hole, but I'm going to take a quick break before we start on that. We'll come back, get it done. I hope you're getting value out of this repair. If you find this is more than what you're ready to tackle on your own, just a reminder, I do offer mail-in services. Just head over to micromage.repair, click free quote, fill out the form, and I'll get back to you personally. If you mention this video, I'll give you 10% off on your repair. Alright, let's continue. Same method as before. We will low melt the anchors. This time we don't have to worry about through hole. Bring the sauce. Oh, hold on. Got a big old plastic connector right next to this thing, right up here. Probably want to put a little protection on that. Now that I think about it, work quickly. As quick as the board will let us anyway. Nice clean pull. Unlike the other one, this one does have a hidden row. I'd rather deal with a hidden row than through hole. Any day, anyway. Flip the board. These little diodes are very close, so I'm going to have to be careful. I'm not going to get too anal about it. Switching to a pico pencil. Some solder on the tip. Ideally just run that ball over the pads. Alrighty then, let's grab our other port. Couldn't find the exact match for this port, but this looks incredibly close. I think that is causing me a problem. Problem is I don't really know how to deal with that. Maybe my grinder. See if that helps, or if we need to grind it some more. I still think that hump is causing us an issue. That's sitting relatively flat. The main concern is we gotta get that hidden row in there, so there can really be no impediment to that. Pretty much as flat as we can get it. Alright, let's prep the port. Sexy. Add some flux. I need both hands to do that. We use the same method we do for switches. Rapid air movement. We got that plastic connector to worry about. Okay, pressing down. Go straight on that inner row. Holding it down. And we'll wait for it to dry. Hold down a little bit longer. Okay, we didn't fry the plastic connector unscathed. Solder our anchors. Alright, we got good feed through on all those holes with the micro pencil. Very good. Excellent. And those are nice beautiful joints without hand soldering. So you got a little bit of hand soldering and you got a little bit of just flowing it in. pretty much the same result. I'm going to take this off camera and clean it off with my air compressor, and then we'll put it back together and come back for testing. Okay, and as you can see, we're back up and charging on the meter, right down there. We're pulling, it's booting at the moment. We are pulling, as soon as it wants to boot up. There we go, 1.24 amps through the new port. Excellent. And as you can see, the other port is charging my earbuds. So I would say that is a fix. Excellent. If you got value out of this video, I think you'll get value out of this one, and I'll see you there. Until then, God bless and have a great day.